Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and today I am not in my account, I am in the account of David Fitzsimmons, and that's kind of an unusual name for me to throw out there, and if you're familiar with it, or it sounds a little familiar, there's a good reason why. David Fitzsimmons is the recent winner of the, let me get this right, Community Champion Concept Contest that Flareon put out there for the game, and he's the one responsible for this champion right here, Kalvalax. It's a cool name, cool champion. I think he looks amazing with the green and the smoke, the cracked armor. It looks very, very cool, and he's a very good champion. You're definitely going to be happy if you pull him for your account, and you're probably going to want to drop him in your clan boss team. Although, I have to say, it looks like he has some really good usage in almost every area of this game. But David came to me and said, hey, I just want to, say thank you for the work you've done. Do you want to check out Kalvalax and try him in some clan boss teams? And I'm like, of course, yes. 100% yes. From now till eternity, yes, I would like to do that. And so that's what I was able to do today. And so I'm going to bring him into a double man-eater team, just kind of to showcase what he does on the clan boss. It's not going to go super in-depth about all his mechanics and such like that. I will explain those right now, talk about his skills and such, but there is still some testing I want to do. There's some things I want to figure out exactly how he works within Clan Boss. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more time on this and I can put another video out tomorrow, kind of explaining maybe some of the more nuances of this champion. But he is very cool. You guys are going to like him. So let's take a quick look at his kit here before we get into it. So his A1, basically he has a chance of increasing the duration of poisons, and he gets a heal based off the number of poisons that are on the target. That's a really nice skill. Obviously, for clan boss in a traditional team, we're talking that healing is going to be great, but more importantly, we're going to be extending the duration of the poisons that we have on the clan boss, which is only going to help us do more damage. That's a really nice ability. His A2 here, this Corruption Locust, basically he puts an extra hit for every poison debuff on the enemy, so that can be up to 4 hits total. And each of those hits does do considerable amount of damage. This is a nice damage skill. It is just a damage skill though, so there is a possibility of maybe wanting to turn that off. Personally, I say keep it on because it does a lot of damage and it's worth keeping. And then his A3 here, attacks all enemies, decreases, damage increases according to the number of poison debuffs on each target. It's based off enemy max HP and attack. So obviously with these kinds of skills, attack is less important. Even though it comes first, it's usually less important than enemy max HP. This is the way it works with Cold Heart. It's the way it works with Royal Guard. It's the way it works with any champion that does damage based off enemy max HP. And looking at it, testing them a little bit in dungeons, this does seem to be the case where this ability caps out at that 10% when you're doing dungeons 21 through 25, but it caps out. It does lots and lots of damage. It's pretty awesome watching somebody do, I don't know, 500,000 damage against Dragon 25 type of thing. It's pretty bonkers. So he's going to do exceptional work on the clan boss as well. Then we have his passive ability, places 4 poison debuffs on all enemies for 2 turns at the start of each round. This is a really nice skill here, and has a 50% chance of placing 5% poison debuff on all enemies for 1 turn at the start of each turn. This is very kind of similar to what an occult brawler does. At the start of their turn, they place a poison. He has a 50% chance of that. And then whenever an enemy places a poison debuff on this champion, instantly removes it and replaces it with a 15% continuous heal buff for 2 turns instead. Again, more sustain. This is a really nice skill. He's got really nice abilities here. I think he's going to be exceptional in pretty much every area of this game. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to this champion. And then, of course, on top of that, he has an awesome speed aura, 19% in all battles. This guy is great all the way around. And if we look, he's got great base stats too. His HP is super low, so he's a little bit of a glass cannon, but his attack is one of the highest in this game. His defense is actually very considerable for an attack-based champion. And his speed is not bad. 99 speed is not a bad number. Got the crit rate. He's got about as high crit damage as you can get to start. Even some resistance and accuracy as well. It's a very, very, very strong champion. Now, the way I have him built is pretty much all damage, right? I'm bringing him in an unkillable team in Clan Boss. I want to see what he can do. So I got him 5,900 attack, like super high. 159 speed, we're using that aura, so it's reducing the speed requirements for everybody. It makes it a lot easier to build damage. 265 crit damage, 101 crit rate, and that 226 accuracy there, just enough to get those poison debuffs on. So if we take a look at his masteries here, we went support tree and we went offensive tree. We can take a little bit closer look as we dive in here, and I'll shrink myself down so it's a little bit easier to see everything. So obviously we're coming all the way down to, well, it's behind me. You can see we're coming down to War Master over here, and that's going to obviously give us some extra damage, as well as we have Life Drinker here. Now, as far as support tree goes, we went accuracy. We did take Cycle of Magic, so hopefully we can get his A3 skill coming back up again. We also have Sniper and Master Hexer to help extend those debuffs, the poison debuffs specifically. So we'll see how this goes. I feel pretty good about that, to be honest with you. We could always go the defensive tree, and I just didn't want to waste all David's resources redoing the masteries again. We could go the defensive tree and try to get some counterattacks, and that's probably what I would recommend for clan boss if we were going to, if I was going to build this for my own team. But I think this should still give us a very good idea of how he works and the kind of damage that he does, and that's what I want to do. Now, as far as the setup goes, we are bringing in Vizier here, so you can see this is the team we have. We do have Vizier to hopefully extend all the debuffs and just keep them on permanently. We're going against Green Affinity. It's bad for Vizier, so I don't know how well we're going to keep the debuffs on for the full fight. So, but the whole idea is just to see Kalvalax, not really anybody else. That's why with Draco, I'm going to be using all of his skills on the regular, because I just want to make sure we have decreased defense and weaken up, that we have poisons up. I don't want to have to fight over it and try and figure out, you know, who's got more or whatever. I just want to make sure they're up there. So that's what we got going on here. And yeah, that's the team. All right, as you see, we start off getting those 4 poisons up there. It's a really nice ability, quite frankly. And, you know, I have to say, if Vizier wasn't weak affinity, we might not need to bring in any other poisoners, because he'll extend those pretty much right from the jump. Obviously, RNG is a factor, but we're definitely suffering from that weak affinity thing. It's frustrating, to be honest with you, trying to showcase this champion. And I've had to do more than a few runs just to get this right. Okay, but here we are. You saw he put up a poison. Part of his passive ability, really nice. Now we're going to use that A3 skill here and see what it does with no decreased defense and no weaken. Boom, 166,000 damage. It's pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. Only 5 poisons up as well. Remember, it does more damage based on the number of poisons, so this could be pretty interesting on where that ends up at. And then here we go. We're just gonna keep running. Now we got plenty of poisons out there, which is great. We got some extensions, I think, from Vizier there. Let's go ahead and get this A2. Get a bunch of attacks in. There you go. That's that 4 attack, right? You get up to 3 extra attacks based off the poisons. 27 to 30,000 damage. Very nice numbers, I would say. Didn't get any extensions with Vizier because, you know, weak affinity. Love it. Love it. Let's wait a turn before we put that out so we can get both decreased defense and weaken on the enemy. Would be nice to have both of those out there. Okay, here we go. A1, see if we can extend those poisons. We do get a little extension on the poisons. That's really nice ability there. It's just a nice little side ability that he has. And doing decent damage. Got those extended again. That's great. Oh, not yet. One more attack. Let's get that decreased defense and weaken out now. Perfect. Boom. We're still alive. Excellent. See if we can't heal up some. We're going to get this big hit now. Let's see it. Decreased defense weakened. We've got 7 poisons on the boss. 315,000 damage. This is a ridiculous amount of damage, guys. Ridiculous. Hopefully you guys can appreciate what just happened there. That's an insane number that we just threw up on the boss. I'm loving it. Loving it. All right, now we have a full debuff bar, so everything's set in there. Every hit from here on should be maximized for him. We'll get that 4 hitter, see how this does. Again, with decreased defense and weaken. 60,000 per hit. That is a strong ability, guys. That's over 200k on one of those hits. That's, I mean, super, super strong. Just a crazy, crazy skill. We're gonna get the veil there so we don't get the stun. And now we should be pretty much full auto. Get that A1, and now we are full auto right here. And it's going to be hopefully just crazy comp. Really looking forward to this. If we can keep those buffs extended from Vizier, if we get lucky, this could be a really nice run. But he does stupid, stupid damage. Just like crazy amounts. You can see right there, A1 hits 94,000 damage. Pretty solid, I would say. Plus extending the poison debuffs. I mean, really strong. You know, honestly, like with him there, if we could give him counterattack, 315,000 again with that, with all the poisons out there and the decreased defensive weaken is nuts. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could bring a martyr into this team and have a lot of success. Even a champion like Aox, who also can extend debuffs, or Narma, who can extend debuffs, they both put up poisons, would be wonderful with this kind of a team. I'd love to see, yeah, I mean, there's just so many possibilities to making a team like this really shine. Just really, really fun. It's a very cool team. It's a very, very cool team. I like this champion a lot. It's not the team so much as this champion is just amazing, right? Not only does he hit incredibly hard, but he's going to bring you debuffs and he's going to work to keep them up. That's pretty much all you can ask for. Here's where I would really love to see him, and I think he would absolutely shine, is in a 2-1 ratio team. If he could get 2 attacks every turn, I think he could keep his own poisons up permanently on the boss. Even with only like a 55% chance of the extension landing, I think there's a very strong possibility that he could keep them up all by himself. You know, there's a lot of things to consider, right? Like, you know, I know a lot of champions that do extension stuff. Sometimes they can get double procs from War Master. I haven't seen that so far, but it's not like I've been able to, you know, extensively test him yet either. I'm interested to see if there's any difference in damage if you use the small poisons versus the big ones. My guess is no, but I'm not sure. I'm also not 100% sure how many poisons you need to really maximize his damage. Is there a difference between 7 and 8 poisons, or 3 and 8, or 4? I don't know. I'm not sure about that either. So I haven't seen a huge difference based off the number of poisons, and that's kind of interesting to me. So that is something I'd like to test a little further and kind of get some more information on. But I mean, he's stupid good. I mean, he's stupid good champion, right? Like, he's pretty ridiculous here. And Vizier's doing the work right now. We're keeping all the debuffs up, which is great. We're obviously not going to get the same kind of damage we would out of Draco normally, so this is not going to be like a one-key team, but this should do some significant work for us, really have some good damage, and I'm excited to see where it can get to. So I'm going to go ahead and take myself off the screen. We'll jump ahead towards the end here and just kind of, you know, see where it ends up. $51 million, pretty solid, I'd say, pretty solid. He did, good lord, he did 18.5 million damage. It's bonkers the amount of damage this guy can do. It makes a huge difference though too, how much, if we're keeping poisons up, if we're keeping decreased defense and weaken up, that's, I mean, massive for him. I did another run of this where he did about 12 million. And so, you know, Vizier not keeping the debuffs up makes a huge difference. But I mean, he's doing the same amount of damage as Draco in that. Obviously, he has some of those poisons up, but that's a huge amount of damage right there. I mean, just huge. He's a phenomenal champion, guys. Just phenomenal. Those hits are huge. When you can do 200, 250,000 damage off your A2 and 330,000 damage off your A3, that's a really nice amount. Not to mention 100K off the A1. I mean, just a very, very strong champion. Brings a lot to the table. Just one of those people that I think if you can get him, you got to use him. Not to mention that speed aura. Really, that makes a huge difference too, being able to gear your champions slower. Allows you to put attack boots on and attack chests on and focus more on crit rate, crit damage, and the stats that you need, and allows you to build more damage throughout your kit. It's a really strong ability. It goes without saying, this guy's going to be amazing in dungeons. He's going to be amazing in arena. He's going to be amazing pretty much everywhere. And so definitely 100% encourage you guys, if you get him, build him out, put him in your teams. This dude is going to be awesome. Well, major props to David for letting me get on this account and check out Kalvalax. This was super fun. Really cool champion. I was really excited to be able to test him out, and hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And just so much props for him, like trying to support me by letting me test this champion out. If you guys would like to support me as well, I do have those Patreon links down below if you'd like to join in there, and that's a wonderful way to help support me and the website. Not to mention, if you guys like the music today, use that Soundstripe link down below in the pinned comment description of this video. That's where I get all of my music. So hopefully you enjoyed that as well today. This was super fun. I like this champion a lot. Now I really want him on my account. So hopefully we all have that 2-time summon event this weekend. Hopefully you guys will get lucky and be able to pull Kalvalax because he is really, really cool. So again, thank you, David Fitzsimmons. And till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.